Hey everybody, it's Candy, aka Brown Eyed Girl 69. How y'all doing? Well, today is January 21st of 2026. It's approximately 10 after 11. I just got home probably about 40 minutes ago. Um, I'm off work tomorrow, and I'm off work Thursday the 22nd, and I'm off work Friday the 23rd. And I'm supposed to return to work on Saturday the 24th at 3 p.m. As some of y'all know, I always speak about where I live, the state I live in. I live in Oklahoma. We're projected to be getting major snow slash sleet slash ice. But the weathermen can't decide what it's going to be because they don't really know. Because of the temperature up in the air, about 10,000 feet is what the weatherman said. He says it's the temperature up there right now is showing it's like 31 and a half degrees. Well, he said if it goes a little colder or a little warmer will determine if the precipitation we get will be either freezing rain, sleet, ice, or snow. Well, the southern portion of Oklahoma, south of I-40, is supposed to be getting all sorts of sleet and ice before the snow comes. And all this activity is supposed to take place from Friday night, 7:38 p.m. until sometime Sunday morning. Tomorrow I have one day to prepare, as well as try to DoorDash. Friday evening, I might have opportunity Friday during the day as well to try to DoorDash and get things done that I don't get done tomorrow. I don't have an extensive list. I need to put gas in my car. Last time I got an oil change, they topped off all my fluids, but they put water in my washer fluid thing. So I got to drain it, and I also need to go get like one of those little what are they called? It's like a thermometer for your radiator, and basically you put the thermometer, you suck up some of the radiator liquid, and it has some balls in the thermometer, and depending on how many balls is floating, tells you up to what temperature your antifreeze is protected up to, because it's supposed to get really, really cold. It's going to be like below zero temperatures with the wind chills. Honestly, let's see. I'm going to see what the lowest temperature is supposed to be. Like tomorrow, our high is supposed to be 55, so it's supposed to be really nice. But by tomorrow night, it'll be 29 degrees, and then the high for Friday is only 39. And then Friday night, it'll be 15, and then Saturday, it'll drop a little bit more, and the high will be 14, and the low will be 8. Sunday, the high is only supposed to be 15 degrees with a low of 2 degrees. Monday's high is only 26 with a low of 5 degrees. And Tuesday, it'll be the first day we rise above freezing at 35 degrees. And then we go back down Wednesday to 33, and then on Thursday it'll be 31, and on Friday it'll be 25. So yeah, winter has hit us, finally hit us here in the state of Oklahoma. I'm not looking forward to these temperatures at all, because I have enough issues with my legs, and when the cold weather comes in, My legs really, really don't like it. Like right now, it's not even that cold out, and my leg is so stiff already, So I guess I'm gonna have to try to find some kind of mm, cream or relaxation, muscle relaxation to put on my knees before I go to work. Especially being out in cold temperatures. But Saturday, more than likely, I won't be going to work. And Sunday, the precipitation's supposed to slow down by Sunday morning. So it just depends on how bad the roads are as to if I go to work or not. Um, Hopefully, I can go to work. I know I probably won't go to work on Saturday. I doubt anybody's going to be getting out of their house. And as busy as was today at work, it's probably going to be that busy tomorrow too, because tomorrow's a really nice day again. 55 for the high. That's really nice weather for January. But we're getting ready to get our asses handed to us this weekend. And the amount that we're getting isn't nothing in comparison to what southern Oklahoma and northern Texas and all those other states east of us are going to get. I think one portion of Oklahoma, I think it's like the one corner, southeast corner of Oklahoma, is projected to get like 12 to 13 inches of sleet slash ice. That's like a foot of rain or a foot of ice and sleet. That is totally nuts. There's not a lot of people though that live down in those areas. That's a lot of wooded area. The Washita Mountains. Washita. It's not spelled Washita like Washita. It's pronounced Washita, but it's spelled like Q something. I don't know. I would have to look. And then when I start talking about things like that, and then I can't remember the information immediately, then it makes me want to go look it all up. Okay, hang on. Where is that? Okay, that far corner. Okay, I guess that's around like Broken Bow, Idabel. There's a couple of small towns. One's called Tom, one's called Hayworth. But those, yes, are Hochatown. That's out by Lake. That's Beaver's Bend. Well, darn it, it doesn't tell me the name of those mountains. Mountains in southeast Oklahoma. There's the Kiamichi Mountains. That's in Broken Bow. The Washita Mountains, which is spelled Ouaci or Chita. The Oshita Mountains, not Washita, Oshita, I guess. And then we got the Kamichi Mountains, and oh, let me see. Where is that? Yeah, it's probably not going to be considered a mountain in Poto, but there's a hill, and it's called the tallest hill, and I think it's called. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's pretty popular hill to drive on or to drive up, and it's like I think 1 foot away from being considered a mountain. something like that. But that area is going to get really hit hard. My area, as far as how far I am from I-40 to here, to the very tip of my town, north end of my town, because that's how they do the mileage. It from here to Norman is about 13 miles. From Norman to Moore is 7 miles. So Moore is like 20 miles from here. And then from Moore up to southeast Oklahoma City is only like a mile or two. So there's 22 miles. And probably to downtown Oklahoma City is probably about 35 miles, I would say. And downtown Oklahoma City, I-40 runs straight through downtown. So we're on the south side of downtown. But I-40, the highway, runs straight through there. So they say from I-40 southward, it's going to be getting more of the ice stuff versus snow. And then north of I-40, up into northern, all the way up to Kansas, is just going to be snow. So see, they're not even going to get any ice. So like the people in Kansas, they're just going to be dealing with snow. The people in like St. Louis and in Tulsa and Joplin, Missouri and Fort Smith, Arkansas, they're probably all going to be just dealing with snow. Fort Smith, Arkansas, they're kind of on the border too, so they might catch some ice too. Because Fort Smith's like right on I-40, like Oklahoma City, you know. That's like a major dividing line. But yeah, that's basically what I'm going to be experiencing over the weekend is some wild, wacky weather. My only hope and concern is that I don't lose power. That's my only concern. And because ice is heavy, so that means that ice will pull down the lines quicker than snow will. And we were just out of power for 12 hours on the day that tornado came through. 2 weeks ago, I think. So I bought a couple of cheap candles. They're in a cup. I don't know if you can see them over there or not. That's my little instant table. But I bought those two candles. They're unscented. They're just like plain candle wax, no scent. I'm burning them right now just to kind of get the wick to, be good and all that and try to get them down. I might pick up a couple more of those because they're pretty cheap. They're only like a couple bucks a pop. Might pick up a couple more of those, and I think I do have a flashlight around here somewhere. I gotta look through some of my stuff tomorrow. Or I might do it later before I go to bed. Who knows? Try to get some of this stuff that I need out. And if I need batteries, try to see if I have any batteries. If not, I'll have to go buy some batteries for like a flashlight. I'm pretty good as far as like I've got plenty of blankets. My only concern is my heat is central heat and air. So if the power goes out, I ain't got no heat. And I doubt I'll have internet either. Well, I might through my phone. Oh yeah, it's another thing I need to charge up power banks. I'm making a list of everything I need to do to try to help myself along. Charge power banks. And I've got power banks over there in my um I guess you could say my professional bag. It looks like a suitcase, but it's padded throughout. It's mainly for like laptops and electronics and stuff. But I know I have some power banks over there, so I need to charge my power banks. Power banks was something Daryl and I utilized a lot of when we were homeless. I'd charge them up whenever I'd go into town or go into the well springs or anywhere that had an outlet that I could utilize for a little while. And I'd charge up our phones, I'd charge up our power banks, I'd charge up whatever I could charge up. And then that way, if we were in the tent and my phone started running low and I was online, I wanted to go online or play some music, go to YouTube, play some videos, I usually have to, have a power bank for backup in case, my phone went dead. Um, so yeah, that's a good idea. I've got plenty of blankets. I've got plenty of water for sure. If we lose water, I've got 11-gallon jugs, and I'm gonna make sure I get my water filled tomorrow too. Um, so get water refills. And then I've got 8 cases of water. Believe it or not, underneath that microwave in those bottom cabinets over there. I got 8 cases of water. Each case is 24 bottles. So I got plenty of water for sure. I'm thinking I need to get some kind of food that doesn't need to be refrigerated, that's easy access to eat so I won't starve, which I just got a jar of peanut butter. I got a loaf of bread, got honey. Give me some fruits and, fruits that don't require refrigeration. Um, Possibly I might boil up some hard boiled eggs. Last time I lost power for 12 hours, I didn't lose any food in my refrigerator. I didn't lose any milk. I didn't lose any meat. And I still got about 4 pounds of ground beef up there in the refrigerator. Um, I didn't lose anything. But if we lose power because of this ice storm, it might be 2 or 3 days before I even flipping have power. But I will say this. My hot water tank is gas. That would be the only other issue is if, for some reason the gas got shut off. But my stove is gas operated and my water tank is gas operated. So I'd have access to hot water and I'd have access to cooking ability. Um, if nothing goes awry with that. Um, if I lost electricity, I would just have to basically bundle up, wear a lot of clothing, and wrap myself up in a lot of blankets, unless I want to venture out to my car and turn my car on, heat the car up so I can at least warm up a little bit. Charge up my phone, whatever. I don't know if we're going to be completely cut off from the outside world or not. It just depends on how much gets dumped on us and what kind of stuff gets dumped on us. But anyways, that's what I'm looking forward to experiencing this weekend. The last time I was in a bad storm was in February of 2021. I lived with my daughter from December 2019, basically right around Christmas time, until basically October 1st of 2020. October 1st, I took off and went traveling, and the first state that I stopped in was Missouri, and stayed with a friend of mine there, a Facebook friend of mine who had been a Facebook friend of mine for quite some time, several years. I stayed with her and her husband in their little ranch style home, about an hour south of St. Louis. And then I went up to Lafayette. Excuse me. I went up to Lafayette, Indiana. And then when I was up in Lafayette, Indiana, basically on my way up to Lafayette, Indiana, after I left my one friend's house in Missouri, that's when I got the phone call from my unemployment that I had been approved and that the checks were on their way. But I had already set up my account for direct deposit. But the woman assured me on the phone that they would send physical checks. And then, after the physical checks are sent, then the direct deposit would start. Well, my address that they had on me was in Denver, Colorado. So, I thought I was going to have to make a trek back to Denver that I just left, But I stayed in Indiana for a few days over the weekend with my friend. And she bought Daryl's guitar. She's the friend that bought Daryl's guitar from me. So the day that I was leaving, we drove into town to her bank so she could get the money for the guitar. And there was a Sonic there right next to the bank. So after she gave me the money, I decided to give me some grub. So I'm sitting there waiting for my food, and I decided to check my debit card just for funsies, just to see how much I had. Because I knew how much I had in cash, so I just wanted to see how much I had on my card. Well, lo and behold, as soon as I opened up my app, well, wouldn't you know it? $12,000. 22 weeks worth of unemployment, and they did directly deposit on my card. So I was like really happy at that point in time because I had probably the most amount of money I'd ever had in my entire life in my hands. And I wasn't going to have to drive back to Colorado and hope and pray that the checks show up. I could continue on my journey. So that's what I did. I continued on my journey. Traveled the southeastern states, went and visited multiple friends, boondocked it, stayed in hotels, and slept on friends' couches or in their guest rooms. Well, when Kelsey talked to me about moving back to Oklahoma because she was pregnant with my second grandchild, and I was traveling, and I'd been traveling already for a few months, and I was pretty much hadn't really found any place I wanted to just settle and land, and try to take root up in. So I knew Purcell was cheap. I knew that my mother was here, and so I decided to come back here. And Kelsey and them told me that they were coming back here too. Well, I made it to, and I knew a storm was coming. I guess that's the whole point of my thing here. I know I'm running low on time. There was a storm coming, and I wanted to try to get up here and beat the storm and be up here in a hotel room while that storm hit. But I didn't make it because it hit quicker than anticipated, and I got stuck in a town about 5 to 6 miles west of Shreveport, Louisiana, called Greenwood. And it was a hotel, and then there was like a gas station with a Subway inside. And then about a couple miles down the road was a Love's. And then if you kept going east, you would eventually run into Shreveport, and there was like a Walmart and a whole bunch of eateries and stuff like that. We never lost power, but the water, something was wrong with the water. And so we couldn't, and I was stuck in this like hotel room, and the roads were so bad that, you couldn't drive out on them. And so I just hung out in this hotel room, and thank God I had enough food that luckily I went to Walmart right before I got the hotel room. And I think I'd been in the hotel room a day or two, and I knew that the storm was coming. So I went to Walmart and made another really quick trip to Walmart to stock up on a few items, and that's what basically got me through until the water came back on and the roads started melting. There was still patches of snow and ice on the ground and on the grass and stuff when I decided to take off out of there, which was, I think, on the 19th of February, or 20th, my daughter's birthday, I think. And they were leaving Colorado, her birthday too, to be here. And I finally made it to Oklahoma, and luckily the roads had melted enough, and I didn't have any major issues. But that was the last time I was in any major storm. Now, last year we had a little bit of snow. I think it was last year or the year before. I think it was last year, 24 or 25. It was 25. That we had a little bit of snow in January, but it came through and was gone within like a day. Anyway, peace, love, hugs, nugs. I know I've rambled on about the weather, but I just want to let you people know what was going on and what's going to be going on with me. Keep me in positive thought, love, and light. That everybody in my area and state and all the people that's going to be affected by this make it through and recover safely through all this. And that if you don't have to get on the roads during this, don't. Make sure you've got plenty of time. You still have plenty of time to get your stocks up if you need to. Make sure you've got plenty of water. Make sure you've got all the things that you need to keep you warm, or in case the power goes out, you've got ways of having light. You have ways of keeping warm if the power goes out. And even ways of preparing food, even if it's just eating already processed stuff, but you can buy, like alternatives, snacks, uh, fruits, raw vegetables, cereals, easy things to eat. Um, so yeah, just be prepared. Is all I gotta say. Just be prepared. Peace, love, hugs, nugs. Until the next time.